Hi. I think many of us can probably agree that the warmer weather certainly produces some really, really great outdoor activities. I know you and I, as the warmer weather hits, we like to get outdoors, and especially after a long winter like we're having, as soon as we feel a touch of some warmer weather, we like to get outside. And that seems to be true among a lot of Americans that own motorcycles. They like to get out when the warmer weather hits. And looking at this report that the U.S. Department of Transportation claims here that 8,410,255 motorcycles were registered in last year alone. And so I think as fun as motorcycle riding is and as popular as it seems to be, there's also a great element that comes with it, and that is that it's a very dangerous activity. And unfortunately, that danger has proven to be true as I was looking at a report that the CDC had released back in June of 2012 when they claimed that over 4,500 motorcycle fatalities happened in that year alone. And so it's a very alarming statistic. But I think what's even more alarming than that, and I don't know if you can get any more than that, but I think what's even more alarming is the fact that someone would want to get out on a motorcycle as dangerous as it is and not wear a helmet. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And I think as an avid motorcycle rider, I don't know if I'd get on my motorcycle without wearing the proper gear and the motorcycle helmet. But it's a good point that I bring up because here in the state of North Carolina, which is where I live, I don't even have a choice in that matter. I have to wear my helmet. That's the law. And in the state of North Carolina, there's a universal helmet law that has been passed that really states that regardless of age, all riders and passengers must wear a helmet at all times while riding on a motorcycle. But shockingly, that is not the case for some of the other states throughout the country. And I want to talk about that today. I became aware of this issue with states not being consistent with these laws, these helmet laws. And I think as I look at this situation, I think these states need to improve, and they certainly need to have stricter helmet laws and be more consistent. And so I want to look at that today, and I want to start by taking a closer look at the problem first. And so currently, the problem is that each state gets to decide its own respective helmet law, which to me poses some serious problems. The first problem is that there is obviously a major safety concern when it comes to each state deciding who wears a helmet and who doesn't. As explained in the Washington Post back in April of 2013, they stated that in an era when overall traffic fatalities have fallen 23%, the number of motorcycle fatalities has actually doubled, climbing in the past 14 of the 15 years. There's really no getting around it. Motorcycle riding is dangerous, and I think without changing any current helmet laws that we have, I feel that we can continue to see these statistics increase as we look into the future. Now, I want to be clear though, those statistics I just read a second ago about the motorcycle fatalities actually doubling, not all of those were from riders not wearing their helmets. However, I think helmet use certainly plays a major factor when it comes to preventing crash related deaths. And so, in researching for this speech about helmet laws, I found that there are three different helmet laws currently established nationwide, which is troubling to me. And so, first, you have a universal helmet law, like I've stated just a second ago, that requires all riders, regardless of their age, to wear a helmet and their passenger at all times. And then there's a partial helmet law that kind of goes by what it stands for, is that it's partial. Some riders don't have to wear a helmet, some do. It just depends on the age. Most adults actually have the choice to not wear a helmet, like the state next to us. South Carolina has the partial helmet law. So if you're over the age of 20 years old, you have a choice to wear your helmet or not. And then there is a no helmet law, and that obviously speaks for itself. That state obviously has decided that no matter who rides the motorcycle, they don't have to wear a helmet. And what's interesting is a report by the CDC back in 2012 shows that the 19 states have the universal helmet law, and but the majority, there's 28 states that have the partial helmet law, and 3 states that actually have the no helmet law. And what's sad is that these states that have the partial or no helmet law have actually shown some startling statistics. According to the CDC of analysis of fatal crash data from 2008 to 2010, 12% of motorcyclists in states with universal helmet laws were not wearing helmets. In comparison, 64% of riders were not wearing helmets in states with partial helmet laws, and 79% of riders were not wearing helmets in states with no helmet laws. So you see a significant number of those that died from 2008 to 2010 were clearly they were not wearing their helmets due to their state's partial or no helmet law. And so something I think has to be changed. Something has to be done to keep motorcyclists safer out on the road. But not only is there a problem from a safety concern when it comes to states deciding who wears a helmet, but there's also a financial concern as well. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration released recently that unhelmeted riders costed more to treat at hospitals, spend a longer time in rehabilitation, and are more likely to require some form of public assistance to pay for medical bills and rehabilitation. And so, because of the differing helmet laws among the states, there must be something done to change the current situation. I have devised a plan that will increase helmet use, decrease the fatality rate among motorcycle riders, and save this country financially from medical costs. Solving this problem of each state having their respective helmet law requires action by the federal government. Congress should pass legislation that would push each state to conform to the universal helmet law, increasing overall helmet use. Carolyn Dixon, she's the executive editor of the Directions, the University of North Carolina Highway Safety Research Center. She explains it like this: when a state moves to a universal helmet law, we see big increases in helmet use among motorcycle riders. For example, when Nebraska passed their universal helmet law, helmet use increased from 15% before the law to 85% afterward. Other states such as California, Louisiana, Maryland, and Washington also saw large increases in helmet use after enacting a universal helmet use requirement. The issue of conforming each state to the universal helmet law couldn't be supported any stronger by the Governor's Highway Safety Association that claim and they urge all states to adopt a universal motorcycle helmet law and vigorously enforce existing laws. So not only will the universal helmet law increase overall helmet use nationwide, but it will also decrease the fatality rate by protecting riders and their passengers from seriously being injured or killed. It's a fact. You know, helmets save lives and have proven to prevent fatal injuries. Just how effective are helmets? The National Centers for Statistics and Analysis estimates helmets to be 37% effective in preventing fatal injuries to motorcycle riders and 41% to motorcycle passengers. This means for every 100 motorcycle riders killed in crashes while not wearing a helmet, 37 of them could have been saved had all 100 worn helmets. Think about it. This could be your father, your uncle, your friend, your loved one, that we could be saving their life by passing this universal helmet law. And so it's simple. Helmets save lives, and they save lives and prevent serious head injuries. And lastly, having the universal helmet law will save the country financially by reducing medical costs. Interesting enough, the CDC released their data back in June of 2012, claiming in 1 year, cost savings in states with universal motorcycle helmet laws were nearly 4 times greater per registered motorcycle than in states without these comprehensive laws. It's no secret the states that had a universal helmet law, which required all riders, regardless of their age, to wear a helmet, certainly saved more money. And so doesn't that make sense? Yet another statistic produced by the CDC shows that in 2010, annual costs saved from helmet use in terms of medical, productivity, and other costs ranged from a high of $394 million in California, which has a universal helmet law, to a low of 2.6 million in New Mexico, which has a partial helmet law. So clearly, if we want to start saving money, we must change our current helmet laws. In conclusion, we must act now to stop differing helmet laws and make Congress pass legislation forcing states to comply with one law, the Universal Helmet Law, the only law that has prevented and proven to be most effective. It could be your loved one that doesn't come home because they were not wearing their helmet. So let's protect them by forcing them to wear a helmet by passing this law while they ride their motorcycle. Let's not make it an option any longer, because we can clearly see that that type of choice or responsibility given to the individual has some serious consequences. I'm not asking you to support this because I want to see strict government control in our lives, but rather to have one law that is much more consistent than what we currently have now. Let's work on saving lives one rider at a time.